Jeez Louise. Sorry, guys. A little bit late. Just had to reboot everything because what is this notification? Because my computer was being wonky and wouldn't let me click go live. But maybe that's what I get for never, ever restarting my laptop. You know, when you just have so many tabs open and like Google Chrome is great about, do you want to refresh them? And they reopen up, but for whatever reason, um, I do not restart my computer nearly ever. So here we are. How has everybody's week been? I know we got a lot to talk about. Maybe a little bit of a different tone this week because oh wow, here all the messages go. Okay. I finally tune in and you're late. I know, Jeremy. We were just talking about what time is this show? Where are you going to be? And I know I was like 6 minutes late. It's terrible. Tardy. You definitely don't run updates, huh? Ooh. Oh. I try to. I think CrossFit, I have one that needs to be done. So you know what? I'm gonna do myself a favor, my future self a favor. Omar, what's up? Just fly low, hello. And after this show, I'm going to update because where does it tell you in the general? Isn't that wild? I don't even know where it is, but I do know that I have been notified that my laptop needs an update to whatever new software it is. But anyways, I will do that. So thank you. Thank you for all being here. Thank you for waiting 6 minutes for me to arrive. My house is a little lonely right now because my dogs are at my parents'. I leave for Garrettsville, Ohio tomorrow morning. My aunt can't watch the dogs, so I brought them over to my parents' house. So that is where they will hang out this weekend. My parents have a lot of land, including a ravine, including a forest, not a real forest, but you guys know what I mean. And yeah, my parents' dogs have an electric fence. He does not stay in it when my dogs are there, so they run wild, and I just hope that I return on Monday with them all in one piece. So that is that. I know that today is Thursday, and for a lot of us in the CrossFit space, have rest days on Thursday. But who did a 9/11 memorial workout today? And what was your memorial workout? I know I was talking to Sean yesterday, and he did his on Wednesday, or his affiliate. He goes to NC Fit, Jason Khalipa's affiliate, and they did it on Wednesday, knowing that a lot of people would take a rest day. So I'm curious, like, what memorial workouts people tackled today. I myself didn't, but I am planning to probably do something like that tomorrow. So just a day late when I get in, because my flight, I leave super early tomorrow at 6 a.m. I think I get in, just before 10 a.m. So I think I'm actually going to head to John Woolley's affiliate. It's like I fly into Cleveland, and then it's like on the way to the shooting range that I'll be at. So yeah, so that might be fun. So if anybody did a good one that was, hard and made you remember exactly what today is, let me know. Put it in the comments. Shoot me a DM, screenshot. Y'all know the drill. But other than that, competition this weekend. SoCal the next weekend. Everybody see Olivia Kerstetter is replacing Alex Gazan. So that's, it's bittersweet, like sad for Alex that she's still not feeling 100% healthy after her car accident. But really excited for Olivia, especially knowing that she was or is the fittest American. So she will go to SoCal and represent Team North America. Oh, Hollyman Hero workout. I don't know that one. Hollyman Hero WOD on Wadwell. Let's see, what do we got here? 30 rounds for time, 5 wall balls, 3 handstand push-ups, 1 power clean, 2 55, 155. 30 rounds. Anything that's honestly more than 5 rounds, it's going to be really hard. I've never done that one. Jeremy loves Hollyman. Moon. Is Moon the name of the workout you did, Jeremy, or what are you specifically referring to here? Let me know. But oh, here we go. Other than that, I am expecting. Oh, we have an interview with Aaliyah Miller that's going to come out on Monday. And then I get to SoCal on Wednesday, and I have a bunch of things, some fun segments set up. So some good stuff in the pipeline. You said Moonwad. Let's see. Oh, also on Wadwell. 7 rounds for time, 10 hang split snatches, right arm, 40 for the men, 30 for the women. 1 rope climb, 10 hang split snatches, left arm, 40 30, same weight. And then 1 rope climb. That reminds me of, is it Tommy V? The one that had barbell work and rope climbs. That one, that's a brutal hero workout. Tommy V. I've done that one a few times. That one is for time 21. That's what it is. Thrusters. 21 thrusters, 12 rope climbs. So yeah, right off the bat, brutal. 15 thrusters. The weight is 115 for the men, 75 for the women. 9 rope climbs, 9 thrusters, 6 rope climbs. So yeah, I guess it just reminds me of it because it's a couplet of rope climbs and barbell movement. But yeah, if you guys haven't given that one a go, that one is spicy. So much thinking in that workout. Yeah, grip gone after 3 rounds, 11:14. That's a pretty good time though. Good for you. Thrusters and rope climbs, Tommy V. Yep, cross fat. You are correct. Has anybody? I don't know if we've. Oh, it's one of your favorite workouts of all time. You know, rope climbs is something I've actually been working on recently with my current coach. They're in tactical games. They're in CrossFit. It's a great movement that you get a lot of like a lot of benefits from rope climbs, in my opinion. But anyways, it's one of those things that I hate doing. It's like, oh, it's a cool skill to have, but doing more than like 1 per round in a workout, I really dislike. It's like when you see a movement on the board and you're like, dang it, I really didn't want to do this, but it's good for us, right? And I've really been trying to like work on them. She's been putting them in my Metcons. And man, for whatever reason, I don't want to use my legs. I just want to use my arms, and they blow up, and then your grip and even like holding on for dear life, especially right before you touch up, is brutal. Absolutely brutal. But yeah, it's been kind of a chaotic little more at this point than 24 hours, huh? The internet right now is tough to look at for a lot of reasons, and I'm curious because everybody's feeds are going to look a little bit different, especially based on what your algorithm is and what things you like and what things you share and all of that. But I've talked about it with a couple of like my friends or acquaintances or people that I just communicate with, and I just wonder when we're gonna, like, what is rock bottom for all of us? And it's a question that, I mean, nobody knows the answer to, right? But it's a question that I've caught myself thinking about a lot lately. And I don't know what that is. And I don't know how we can get to a place where people can have dialogue, conversation, discord. And even if you greatly disagree with that person, you can still like either walk away from the conversation if you feel yourself getting heated, or emotional, or like, why can't we just have more conversations where, I disagree with you, you disagree with me, but maybe we can both learn something from each other. And it makes me sad. Truly, it makes me sad more than anything, regardless of, what your political beliefs are, regardless of how passionate you are about certain beliefs, because I think passion is good. It's good to like feel so strongly about things, but I don't know where we've gotten into society and in the world that we've crossed over from being super passionate and caring about something that then it turns into violence, right? And it's sad. I really don't know any other way to explain it. Um and yeah, I'm curious how other people are feeling and how other people are like having conversations with people they agree with, maybe with people they disagree with, family members, things like that. Equal parts sad and enraged. Seeing his kids is crushing me. Yeah. When you look at the kids in the family, I think that like that's what humanizes it, right? Regardless of whether you agreed, disagreed, anything. Like that person had a family, that person had kids. Those poor kids have to grow up without a father now, and that's sad. I think anybody who can have compassion, empathy, understanding can agree with that. And I just don't know where we're getting. And then today being 9/11, it's just so many emotions for so many reasons and so much anger. Like you said, people are enraged on both sides. And I don't know how we meet in the middle. I don't know what the way forward is. CrossFit. I don't understand folks' willingness to share so much ugliness in every direction for anyone to see, regardless of their views. Yeah. I think I mean, it's hard to know, but I think some of it probably comes from, maybe a lack of identity, a lack of purpose, a lack of surrounding yourself with people who you can have opposing viewpoints with, right? Because I think a lot of people, and like I've been guilty of this too. I think everybody at some point in their life has been guilty of it. And it's whether you identify it or not, that, you like to surround yourself with friends that you have similar interests, hobbies, maybe viewpoints, thoughts, ideas. And sometimes if you continue to do that, you get yourself in this echo chamber. But I think that there's a lot of people that like the echo chamber and they're like, yes, it's groupthink, and they enjoy almost like talking in circles about the same things because everybody agrees with each other. That well, what if there was to be somebody in this group where, yeah, maybe you share like the same hobbies and maybe like the same surface level, like things that you enjoy. I'll take some like a sourdough class. Maybe a bunch of people are in a sourdough class. And who knows, you talk about this, you talk about that. And then maybe people start talking about worldview, and it doesn't even necessarily need to be politics, but just worldview, ideas, kids in school, things like that, just things in everyday life. And I think more times than none, or more times than not, people might be afraid to speak transparently and say honestly how they feel, because if somebody feels the opposite, they're so quick to judge and so quick to spew hate and get angry. And it just, you guys know, I try to be here as entertainment, sports entertainment, lifestyle, dogs, fitness, shooting sports, positivity. Like that truly is what I want to continue to do. But I felt like with everything that I'm seeing on social media and the dialogue, it was hard to not just kind of open the floor and talk about this, because that's what I want. Live with Laur to be is what's going on in life. What are people up to? Let's share ideas. Let's create an environment where we can keep pushing the ball forward and have these conversations. And I mean, a lot of the times I do rely on you guys to carry the conversation because I want to know, what's going on in your lives and what are people dealing with and how does that connect us. Jeremy, the explosion of social media has given way to a lot of societal dysfunction. Being able to say whatever you'd like without repercussion emboldens the wrong people. Yeah, especially because then it's like, okay, so many people are behind these accounts and stuff, but would you say that to somebody's face? Would you, if you were in a group setting and having dialogue and conversation about whatever, would you be so enraged when speaking? And I don't know. And again, like I'll go back to the first question, how do we move forward from this? Like what is rock bottom? How do we, because you think of today, 9/11, one of the biggest tragedies that us as US citizens has ever had on our soil. And it's a day that I apologize if this is like not the best way to say it, but a day that like brings us together, It's like the tragedy of that binds American citizens together, and it feels like instead of feeling unified, it's very ununified. It's very disjointed. It's very hateful, and it does make me really sad because again, like I have friends on this side, I have friends on that side, I have friends in the middle. I have friends in all different classes of political views, and watching the hate towards each other just it's really unfortunate. And even today I went to my eyelash appointment. I had my eyelashes done, and me and my eyelash tech were talking about it, and she was saying, the past 24 hours, just clients coming in, everybody talking about it. And she actually had the oh my god, why am I blanking on his name from Two and a Half Men? Charlie Sheen. She had it playing in the background, the Joe Rogan, I think it was his latest episode. Joe Rogan was interviewing Charlie Sheen, and Charlie gets up. They're like over 2 hours in, and Joe Rogan's podcasts are always super long. You kind of have to, at least for me, anytime I listen, you got to listen to them in segments. But he like got up to use the bathroom. They're about to end and just kind of tie everything in, and then he comes back from the bathroom, and I think one of Rogan's producers or somebody that helps on the show mentioned, what had happened. And oh, sorry. Of course, this is what happens when you don't update your computer, guys. um, but they had found out what had happened with Charlie Kirk being killed, and it was almost like a reaction in real time. And they were kind of talking about it and just reacting in real time. And yeah, it just was interesting too. And like she was telling me a little bit about how on both ends of the spectrum she's like lost clients because maybe there's like getting their lashes done and they make um a comment or something about what they believe, which whatever. And then if she doesn't agree with them, they think that she disagrees with them. So then they've outright told her like, I don't think that we align politically, so I'm not coming to you anymore. I'm not doing business with you anymore. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. In some aspects, I can understand with certain things. Sure, it's not necessarily what I would do. I don't choose who I do business with based on their political views. I more or less think like, A, do they have provide a good service, and B, like from what I know, like can I say that they're a good person? You know, are they are they um are they doing anything that I'd be like, ooh, like if my name and this person's name came up in conversation, would I feel a certain way? And I just think it's so interesting. Jeremy, the glory days of CrossFit. Oh, CrossFit. Remember how united our country felt when George W. threw an absolute strike after 9/11? And then Jeremy says, yeah, the glory days. Oh, the glory days, CrossFit. How many of these tragedies will it take? Yeah, and again, like, I'll be the first to say that I don't think that you need to have agreed with Charlie Kirk, like, whether you agree with his political views, the things that he has said, whether you agree or disagree, to me, that's not the debate. The debate is human life, and not agreeing with somebody and not even, like, just deciding, "You know what? I see myself getting emotional and I see myself getting frustrated based on what this person says. I'm just gonna unsubscribe to their account. I'm just not gonna see that because I know it's not healthy for me and my emotional capacity right now. And maybe I need to go to therapy and talk about that. Why do I get so triggered by this? Why am I getting so riled up?" But instead, going to the extreme to celebrate somebody's murder, somebody being murdered, right, is concerning. It's concerning. And again, like, you don't need to have agreed with him. You don't even need to like him. And that's totally fine. That's everybody's right. But uh seeing people celebrate somebody's death is concerning. And that's kind of where I'm at with that. We didn't have anyone after 9/11 posting weird, they had it coming, or actually it was blank minutes after it happened like we do now. Yeah, I think part of that is like the push of social media and like the instantaneous, or the way that like you can communicate instantly online and have that type of discord. I also think like social media very much rewards people who are controversial online, right? Uh so I think that could be part of it too. Prescott. Rope climbs are definitely a good workout. I used to do them a lot after wrestling. Yeah, I mean, rope climbs for overall fitness, I think, are great for a lot of reasons. I'm just very bad at them and I need to continue doing them. Jeremy, the greatest trick ever pulled on the American people was establishing a two-party system. The current state of America is the result. Maybe that's too far down the rabbit hole. No, but I mean, look, I don't think right now we're getting too far down the rabbit hole with anything. I think that we're just here to have conversations, and the only way that we can find solutions is by having conversations. And I think we need more conversations where people have different viewpoints. Like, I'll never forget back in high school how we had like the debate teams. Who here was on the debate team? So much fun because it you learned so much. Like, you could research any topic and go down those rabbit holes and feel like you had all of the answers and you were super passionate about this and you're like, "Yes, I'm going to." I mean, part of it is, yeah, I'm going to prove this person wrong because I am so confident in the way that I'm thinking because I've gone so far over on this side looking into it. And then you go to the debate and maybe you hear the other person's side, and maybe it's a side that you never even considered, and you start listening and you're like, "Wow, I never thought of it that way," or "Wow, I thought my case was so strong and I still believe in it, but they've poked some holes that maybe want maybe force me to research more." Maybe now it's the same thing as what like scientists do. Like, the whole job of a scientist is to disprove what they've proven, right? To make sure that they have the answer to what they're trying to prove. I don't think I said that eloquently at all, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying here. Like, for you to have fact and know that something is right, you need to go disprove yourself and see if that's possible. So I think it's good to have constant conversation and viewpoints. And CrossFit, I play real sports. George Wang in 2001, we were unified because the US was being attacked. Now we're attacking others. Yeah. And that's the concern, right? How far do we go? Do we get as far as the Civil War? I don't know. I think to not consider that as a real possibility would be a little, at least for me, would be a little ignorant, that knowing, hey, if we keep going down this path, we're just going to start killing each other. We already are killing each other. And other countries are looking at us and laughing. Maybe not laughing, but saying, gosh, I'm glad I'm not part of that shit show. Right? And I don't blame them because we have a lot to figure out here. And not everybody has all the answers. If we did, we would be solving the problems. But I think that just having more conversations is at least a push in the right direction. That I hope that with what happened, I hope that doesn't deter people from wanting to still have open dialogue. Because I can imagine that for anyone in the public eye, they might be concerned to express their true unfiltered opinions because it's a real possibility that they'll be killed by somebody that disagrees with them. And that's where we are. That's where we are. But yeah. Oof, that's deep. This is, like I said, this is a very different live with Laur, but it just felt like, again, without, to me, this isn't being political. This is just speaking that, hey, we should have open dialogue regardless of what aisle you stand on. If you were an enemy of the US, how would you attack us? Maybe by spreading misinformation and getting us to fight each other. Hey, yeah, not a bad way. I forget what I saw. And again, you can't believe anything, or you can't believe everything on the internet, and you can't believe everything when like you're scrolling Instagram at the end of the night, laying in bed and you should be sleeping. But I did see something. It was somebody that asked ChatGPT, how would, and don't quote me on this, but basically how would an outside enemy attack us? And it basically said, create a cancer from within. And Jeremy, kind of what you're seeing or what you're saying there is hit the nail on the head. Thank you. This feels right. You're good. Yeah, it felt weird, especially also being like on 9/11 to sit here and just kind of, hey, how's everybody doing? Pumpkin spice lattes. Don't get me wrong, love them. I have made my own, by the way, with that Chobani pumpkin creamer. Not sponsored, but if anybody is looking for like a good creamer that is not super sweet, low sugar, I think it's only got like 5 grams of sugar, so low sugar for a creamer. Chobani's got a lot of great flavors, but anyways, it makes you think. It definitely makes you think. And I'm also hoping to have more conversations like that this weekend being at tactical games, because even though some people might think, oh, tactical games, a shooting sport, everybody's probably super conservative and super right wing. I will say, like, from covering the sport for the past two full years, it very much is people who do want to have open conversations. At least everybody, I would say almost everybody that I've come in contact with. So I'm curious to have more conversations like that if it feels right, because I do enjoy having these type of conversations with people. It's just you never really know who you can have them with and who is going to either be really frustrated because you don't take their side, or B, like if you stay in the middle, people tend to not like that either. So it really is a balancing act of who can you have conversations with and stay even keel and listen and learn and, transition. Did you watch Hypercon Games documentary yet? No, but this is we're going total left turn. I have watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, which, Jeremy, I know you're probably not somebody that has watched this, but anybody else, have you guys seen it? My sister is convinced that this show is excellent, and I watched the first season and I'm like, okay, this would have been great for me to watch in high school, kind of like the OC. It's like a group of high schoolers getting ready for college and all of that. And like a romance, like this girl, she's in love with one of the brothers, but he's kind of playing hard to get and like won't really be honest about his feelings. So then like the younger brother, he like then kisses her and whatever. And then it's like this game of which brother is she going to end up with? And the first season was a little cringe, but now I'm on season 3 and I'm like, okay, I can see how I'm rooting for Conrad. I can see how maybe I'm a little bit hooked, but There was an old video by Paul Harvey about how to take over the country. Ooh, let me scroll. A lot of what he said is happening now. It's about destroying our country from within. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just hopeful that that doesn't happen. I mean, the only thing that's going to tell us is time. So we'll see how that evolves and that goes. But I had to get my creatine in today. I didn't drink my normal beverage this morning because I was too busy sipping on my coffee with Chobani. So getting the creatine in now. So this is 5 grams of creatine. Again, now we're going all over the place. Welcome to Thursdays. And I have been up to taking between 15 to 20 grams. And at first I thought, maybe it's the placebo effect because I'd heard that, originally the dosing was like 5. And if people were taking 10, it was a little bit unheard of. And oh my God, like, I guess if you have the money to do it for supplements, sure. But then I had heard like maybe a couple podcasts or read a couple articles about people taking up to 20 and how it was helping with cognitive functions. And my grandmother actually died from Alzheimer's. So that's something that I am super aware of. And I will say I've been doing it for a couple months now. I feel less forgetful, maybe also because I'm getting like better sleep and haven't traveled a ton recently. But up to 20 grams, 15 to 20 grams a day. I'm curious if anybody else has gone on that journey. And if you have, am I crazy? Or do you feel the same way? Very curious about that. But even though I haven't traveled in a minute, we about to be on the road. So I'll go to Ohio this weekend for tactical games. Who here is going to SoCal? Anybody? I'm very excited because then I go from SoCal straight to Poland for the first international tactical games event. And we're staying with basically the guys in Poland that are running it. So we're going to make homemade pierogies. They're going to take us on like different excursions. I think when we land, we're basically going to go like climb this mountain. They told me, make sure you bring your trekking shoes. As if I have trekking shoes, I do, but like, thank God I do. I mean, they gave me heads up enough that I probably could got some. But anyway, so they were like, bring trekking shoes and bring a headlamp. And I'm like, oh my God, do you know what kind of hiking I've done in my life? It's okay. Yeah, go to the Adirondacks and it's, a 2, maybe 3-mile hike. And I mean, my niece, and not my niece, but like my nephew would go, my niece would go. We just carry her, but it's nothing extreme. You don't need gear or anything like that. Oh, wait, I stepped away for a second. We talking drugs? We're talking about creatine, Jeremy. And I was saying that, you used to see a lot of people take only between like 5, and if somebody took upwards of 10, it was like, whoa, taking a lot of creatine. And I've been taking between 15 and 20 because I saw a couple articles and podcasts where that helped with cognitive function. So curious if anybody else was on that journey or if it's, just me and a couple of people just pissing out creatine and not actually doing anything extra. Unsure. I would love to go to Poland. I hear it's a wonderful country. Yeah. So is she 100? Yes, my grandmother on my dad's side is 100% Polish. So I actually went and saw my grandparents last weekend and she gave me a contact. She was like, I don't even know if he speaks English, but like, here's the email and, here's where they live. And we still have like great cousins here. And so I'm excited to learn more. I'm a mutt. I'm a bunch of different things. So it's hard to say like, oh, my heritage. It is part of my heritage, but it's not like when somebody's 100% something and they can go back. So my grandma, she's 100% Polish. My grandfather, 100% Lebanese. So then my dad's side, they're all 50-50. And then my mom's side, just, a bunch of European. I think they're Irish, German, and Welsh. So I'm five different things, which I think is interesting. A little bit of everything. Little bit of everything. But yeah, homemade pierogies, that's gonna be a lot of fun. I love pierogies. It's interesting though, because here in the States, pierogies are, I would say 9 times out of 10, they're made with potato. And then when I spoke to some people from Poland, they're like, "Oh, that's the cheap." But like having uh potato in them is just like the cheap way. And I was like, "Oh, but it's so good." Like basically pasta and potato, carbs and carbs. And they were telling me like all the different ways that they can make them and how great they're gonna be. I have many friends who are Polish and they are great. Do you know where they live exactly? Or do they live in Poland or do they live somewhere else now? It's funny because I totally forgot that Gabby Magawa is from Poland. So, I did shoot her a message. Don't mind me. I showered before this and washed my hair, so just brushing it out as it air dries. But I did message her. I don't know if she'll get back to me. Um, I don't know that we've shared DMs before. And not everybody checks them and they get into different like folders or whatever. But anyways, I messaged her to try to get some advice and see what like a list for like must see or must do or what have you. So I'm curious to see if she gets back to me and what that list looks like. But other than that, I can't believe how fast this year has gone. Like summer has come and gone. Now there's that bite in the air because it's fall and it's almost holiday season. It's basically spooky season. Spooky season happens, then Thanksgiving, that's Christmas, then it's New Year's. And then my least favorite month personally, February. If we could just delete February from a calendar, that would be amazing because February, at least here in the Northeast in Syracuse, is just gray and dreary and terrible. And it just never ends. It feels like the longest month of the year, even though it is the shortest month of the year. How does that make sense? I do not get it at all. They just have Polish heritage, so they live here. Okay. Well, if you happen to chat with them and if they've explored it all, tell them I'm going. Tell them somebody you know is going. And if they have any highlight things that I must see or do, let me know. I fly into Krakow. I think I'm saying it wrong because there is an accent. Hold on. There's an accent over the O, and I don't know what that sounds like. I know it's not Krakow. Krakow. Like cacao, but not. Thanks for anybody who chuckled at that, just for a little bit of entertainment. It looks stunning. And I'm just excited because this is one of those trips where I'm actually going to have some time to explore. That the past couple of times that I went to Europe outside of London in the last 2 years, I've basically just like gone there and come straight home. Like a couple years ago when I went to France for the French for the French Throwdown, I was super bummed because I wanted to stay longer and explore, and truly all I saw was like the convention center and um one coffee shop. But that was the year that they had the West Coast Classic um in the tennis stadium, and I was calling play by play for that, and the French Throwdown was right before it, so there just like wasn't enough time to explore. So, you know, is what it is. Oh well. And then I will be going to Aberdeen, Scotland. I haven't booked those flights yet. I'm very excited about that as well. So a couple of abroad trips and potentially WFP finals in Denmark. It's the week before Christmas. Flights might be really expensive for that because it's the week before Christmas. So TBD. TBD. Jeremy, what do you call a Polish chicken in a tree? I have no idea, but I can't wait to hear what your answer is. Thank you for teeing us up with a joke. Ooh, okay, I'll tell you a joke after. It's my favorite joke. I keep it in my back pocket. If you have kids, it's one that maybe you should teach them. Good. Just fly low. Can't wait to hear it too. We'll sit here patiently and wait for the big reveal. Poultry. Wow, that's actually a pretty good one. I like that one. My joke is why I gotta move the microphone for this. Why is your butt crack this way and not this way? I don't think I've told this one here. Because if you fell down the stairs, it would go. Yeah. When I was maybe 14 or 15, I told that joke on a stage at a dance competition. The MC was trying to kill time as the judges were finishing up scorecards, and the MC asked if anybody had a joke, and I raised my hand right in the air and I said I did, and my mom was in the stands mortified that I would do that and embarrass her. But I stood up there loud and proud, and I got a lot of chuckles, and from then on I was like, okay, this is a joke that I'm going to keep with me. I'm going to keep with me really close, and we're going to spread the good jokes until forever. So, share that. Yes, thank you. The thumbs up. Wow, I'm not sure I can watch anymore. Was that the deal breaker? Yeah, I know. I mean, I never said I was funny. I never claimed to be funny. I think it's a good joke. It gets chuckles. It's just got to be the right audience. Maybe a better one for kids than adults because they're like, okay, Lauren, what are you doing? People already think I'm weird. That just kind of adds to it, but it's okay. I lean into the weirdness. I like being weird because then when you do weird things, like as long as the person knows you're weird right up front, they don't expect anything less. They're just like, yeah, that's Lauren. That's about right. So here we are. I like your sense of humor. Thank you. Thank you for thinking I have a sense of humor. Okay, guys. I haven't even started packing. So I am going to get going. Once again, apologies for being a little bit late. I think I got my calendar confused because I think last week I said, oh, next week, as in this week, we're going to do it Wednesday because I'm in SoCal. But obviously I'm here and it's home and it's Thursday. So, oh, wait, we can. You know what? We will do live with Laur next Thursday. Time is TBD. Time is TBD. So keep your eyeballs open. Keep your eyeballs open. I will post on my social media account once I have an idea of a time, and we will make it happen. And it'll be great. I will be from SoCal. I would have already spent the whole day at Disneyland with one of my favorite athletes shooting some really fun content, and we'll catch up. Maybe we'll have a guest that day as well. I will communicate with y'all via at Lauren Kulil. Until next time, y'all, have a great Thursday. Thank you for wishing me some safe travels. This was really fun, even though the start was very serious. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that you enjoyed yourself. This is what it's all about. And as always, thank you guys for supporting the channel just by being here and having good, thoughtful conversation. That's what this is all about. And continue to go off and spread some thoughtfulness and positivity. We could all use a little bit more of it.